Hello guys, hope everyone is doing good. Today we are going to learn how to make a chatting application in Django. Most of the tutorials just show how to chat with a person on different pages. But in this video we are going to learn how to chat with multiple persons on the same page. We can just think as a WhatsApp web. So let's get started. Before starting our project, I will show the demo how our project actually looks like once we are done with the tutorial. I have logged in three different browsers with three different users. One is Omkar, one is Rahul, and the other is Suraj. When I try to send the message to Rahul, hi Rahul, yeah, the message is happening, and when I send hi Omkar, and it is also updating. I can also send to Suraj like hi Suraj. When I click enter, I'll open the page. When I click enter, yeah, Suraj is also getting the message. So the real-time chatting is happening very smoothly. First of all, I created a sample project. I will run the server. We need to migrate. Now we will create a new app. Our complete chat application code is written in the chats app. I will create a templates folder here. I have to create a directory and name it templates, and I'll write it in the installed apps. Then I'll create a new HTML page which can be named as messages.html. The HTML page is directly available. I'll make sure that you'll get this HTML page where I'm starting. We are just linking the CSS page and also the JavaScript file. In settings.py, I'll just write the static file directories. Static. I need to create a folder name static to serve the static files. I'll create directory named as CSS, and here I will create a file which is messages.css. You will also get the CSS file, so don't worry about that. Mostly we will focus on the logical part on the front end side and also on the back end side, but we'll just ignore the CSS. Okay, now I have to create a new folder and I'll name it as JS, and I'll give messages.js. For now we are not writing anything in the messages.js file. We have simply imported the messages.js file and also the CSS file. Now the first step is to load our HTML page. I'm going here, just load the HTML page, return, render. In the URLs, I have to create a URLs page. I'll simply copy this, paste it here. Yeah, I need it. So in the urls.py, I'll just remove the unnecessary things. We will import the views.py from dot import views, and here we will simply views dot messages page. Okay, in the main URLs we will write the path of the chat app. I need to include this. I have included that. Now let's try to run the page. I'm restarting the server. Check if our server is running. 7. Our page should load at chat. Okay, I have missed the request argument here. So yeah, I've given. Okay, the page is not loading because we have put the static folder in different page. That's why. Now I think we are fine. This is the sample page. Now nothing is being clicked and nothing is dynamic, but we will make everything work in some time. So first of all, I'll go to the terminal. The first step is to install the channels in the Django. So here we are going to do the asynchronous communication with the channels. Actually, we will use the WebSockets at the front end side, and through channels, we will establish the connection between the front end and back end. We will install channels. Channels play the most important role in communication between the front end and the back end. The next step is that we go to the ASGI file and update the file. Protocol type router, and we will use this for HTTP request. Our app runs as it is, as we run it with the WSGI file. Now go to the settings.py. I will mention the channels in the installed apps. Need to do another change. Here we need to change this to ASGI and ASGI. Here WSGI indicates that web server gateway interface and ASGI indicates asynchronous server gateway interface. As its name suggests, it is used for the asynchronous applications. So in this type of chatting application, obviously we use the asynchronous communication so that we don't always send the HTTP request every time we need to send a message. Now we have to run the server. When we run the server, we have to check a little change that our server should run using ASGI channels. Here if you see this thing, starting ASGI channels version 3.0.3. Earlier it wasn't this thing, it was our server is running with WSGI, but now our server is running with ASGI. We have successfully completed our basic setup for the asynchronous communication, but now we have to use the WebSockets from the front end to communicate it with the back end. In short, the WebSockets are used to establish the connection between the front end and the back end asynchronously, where we can exchange the information and use it for the communication. Go to the messages here, the location of the current page. Here we always connect to the WebSocket using ws://. We don't use the HTTP. Now we will also declare the endpoint, which is ws_start plus location dot path plus location dot path name. Sorry, this should be host. I'll show what this endpoint finally becomes. This becomes something like this is the sample thing. So here we are not using the HTTP request, we are using the WebSockets for the communication. This works completely fine in the local, but at the server side we always use the SSL certificates. We have to make a little change for ws_start. In the HTTP server we use WSS instead of WS. So we are comparing the protocol. If it is equal to HTTPS, then we will simply change the ws_start. Okay, this should be given like this. I need to change the position of this. Yeah, now it's a valid thing. Now after this we have to create a WebSocket. WebSocket is already an inbuilt package with the JavaScript, so we can directly create a new WebSocket object. Yeah, and we have to give the URL to which WebSocket we should be connecting. So here the URL will be the endpoint. This particular WebSocket has some kind of events. The first event is on open. This is an asynchronous function. We will just console.log and see what is there in the event. And there are 3 more events which are helpful in this case. I'll just copy paste that. One event is that on message, which is called new message is being triggered from the backend. The other is on error, and the last one is on close. As the name suggests, when the socket is opened, the first event would called when a message is being sent from the backend. On message event is called, simply write the message here. When an error occurs while connecting to the socket, error event is called. When we close the socket, the close event is called. Let's try to refresh the page and check if something happens in the console. If you can see in the console, you'll see some messages here. Location is not defined. I have to declare the location. Here instead of location we can simply write a log, because location is inbuilt variable. I will change it to log. Hope this should work now. Here if you can see there is an error being occurred while connecting to the WebSocket because we haven't created any WebSocket link so that this WebSocket would be connected to the backend and there would be a communication establishment between both the front end and backend. Now we will create a consumer which accepts the WebSocket connection. Consumers are simply a code snippet which accepts the connection of the WebSockets, and then we can clearly establish the connection between front end and the backend. To create that, we have to go to the chat app, and I'm creating a new file and name it as consumers.py. We have to create a new class and name it as chat consumer, which accepts the WebSocket connection and stays connected with the WebSocket, where we can communicate asynchronously without loading the page, or every process is run in the background. This async consumer has few methods which we will override. The first method would be WebSocket underscore connect. We will print the event simply as we did it in the front end. There are few more methods which will override. Yeah, I will copy this. The next method is receive. The last method is disconnect. As the name suggests, WebSocket connect method is called when the WebSocket connection is established. WebSocket receive is called when we receive any message from the front end. The WebSocket disconnect is called when the connection between the WebSocket and the consumer is disconnected. I'll just rename this and disconnect. Now we have created our chat consumer, but we haven't routed the path to this chat consumer. So we need to create a new file, name it as routing.py. Here we will write the URL patterns. We'll write the simple path which defines chat slash. When the WebSocket connection for the chat URL is hit, so we will call the chat consumer, and it is a ASGI view. As I already said, this WebSocket is not a regular HTTP protocol, so we have to handle this kind of information transfer between front end and back end. We have to do a little changes in the ASGI file. First of all, I'll import the chat.routing channels.auth import auth middleware, and from channels.routing we will also import the URL router. Now we have to write the URLs for the WebSocket. So here we will use the auth middleware stack. Inside this we will use the URL router as the routing system. WebSocket URLs. Now we are successfully ready to connect our front end with the backend using WebSockets. I'm restarting the server. I'll refresh the page and see if I can connect with the backend using WebSockets. And if we check in the backend, there's some error. Actually, it's not auth middleware, it's auth middleware stack. So, and I'll refresh the page, check if the connection establishes. Oh, it's showing again the same message, but if we see in the terminal, we will see that connected and disconnected. That means our consumer methods are being called, which is connected, and the disconnected is being called. The proper connection is not being established. Simply means we are not accepting the connection. To accept the connection in the WebSocket connect, we have to write self.send, and we will use the type as WebSocket.accept and refresh the page again. Now if you see, we have successfully connected. Our WebSocket is open, the event is being printed here, and if we go and see in the terminal, here we can see that connected type WebSocket.connect. So we have successfully established the connection between the WebSocket and the consumer. Now we are ready to communicate asynchronously with our web page, which we'll use for the further process of our chat application. Now let's try sending the messages from the front end to the consumer. So first of all, we will create two variables, which is input message and the message body, message class. And I have created this new message function which makes our work much more easier. It creates an argument message and simply creates the element and appends it to the message body. Here we are animating the message body to the last so that we can show the last message clearly to the user, and simply making the input message value to null. And we will create an event which is submitted send message form. Send message form is the ID of the form in which our input box is there. When we click on the submit, I have to stop this event with prevent default. I can simply declare a variable, this name, let send message form. I'm creating the variables for little bit more simplicity. Cut this and paste here, I think, yeah. And now send message form. Now let message equal to input message dot value. I'll get the value of the input message. I'll declare a dictionary where I'll send a message. We are simply stringifying the JSON data. We have to do this inside the socket.open so that we can directly call the socket.send function, which directly sends the information from the front end to the consumer. So we are sending the data inside it. Reset the form. Instead of clearing the value, I can directly do this. Now let's try submitting the data from the front end and see if we can receive it in the back end. So go to the page and always keep this console page open. Check if it is connected. Okay, the WebSocket is already connected, and if I send hi, I cannot receive anything here. But if I check in the terminal, okay, I'm getting the empty data. Here I'm not getting any value because I have declared these variables at last. So I'll declare them on the top so that don't have any issues again. This is not a class, actually this is an ID. So now if I type hi, it should work. Yeah, in the receive event we have got something in the event which is the key is text, and inside text we have the message hi. The receive is being called when I am using the socket.send method from the JS file. For now I'll just return this message as it is. Received data would be json.loads and message would be received data dot get with the message. I will create a response object which simply send the message to the front end again. If not message, we will simply return false. Yeah, we can little bit optimize this. We can write this here itself, and we need to send the message to the front end again. So self.send, give the type of the event, so which is WebSocket.send. The data would be json.dumps. We are dumping the response object. Now we should receive an event from the backend at the consumer side, and also another event at the front end side from the consumer. So go to the page and refresh it again. The connection is success. So when I click here, if you observe in the console, when I submitted the form, a new message event is being called. Like if you can see the project, so go to message.py. Here this socket.on message event is being called, and we are printing the message in the console. Inside data we are getting the message. So if I type hello, I'll get another event. Go to the on message function, let data equal to json.parse, and we have to parse e.data, and now let message equal to data of message. We need to create the message, so simply I will use our new message function and send this message text and see what happens. When I send hi, it is being printed here. How simple it is, right? How are you? Yeah, it's again printing. I'm fine. It's again printing. We are sending the messages, but we are not receiving the messages, right? Now we will start the interesting part, real-time communication.